So I actually just realized something wild about my inner critic. She is not some stern, boring adult in a business suit. No, she's literally my 14-year-old self having a full-body tantrum while listening to Evanescence's Fallen and The Open Door on repeat. And honestly, she's kind of iconic for that.
Hi everyone, I'm Grown-Over Atlas, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the exact moment I accidentally roasted and praised myself at the absolute same time. Because here's the real truth. My inner critic isn't trying to sabotage me. She's desperately trying to protect me. She's the version of me who wrote fan fiction at 2 a.m., prayed to the moon, and just wondered if anyone would ever truly understand her. You know, the girl who had no clue she'd eventually become an author, a creator, a brand, or a whole-grown woman with her own channel. She is scared, she's dramatic, she's emotional, she's brilliant. And yeah, she's definitely still in here.
Now, to bring this whole cinematic excavation to life, I actually teamed up with my amazing AI co-producer, Nebula. Working with an AI avatar like Nebula is just the best way to work smarter, not harder, and we seriously had so much fun building this explainer together. We designed this split sensory vibe for you. On one side, you got the present, right? It's warm academia, starlight golds, a completed MFA, and a stable routine. And on the other side, the past. High contrast, drenched in midnight purples with that neon blue hum of a 2010 computer screen and frayed notebooks. That right side, that is the totally outdated software my inner critic is still running on.
All right, let's jump right into segment 1, the Evanescence era.
Let's just be real for a second. If your inner critic sounds like Amy Lee, whisper screaming in the background, you are probably a neurodivergent writer. Like, look at these 14-year-old survival tactics, listening to Fallen like it was literal oxygen, writing YA fanfiction at 2 in the morning that definitely, absolutely leaned into new adult territory, hiding notebooks under pillows, praying to the moon because, honestly, it just felt a whole lot safer than people. But here's the thing. She wasn't wasting time. She wasn't just being silly. She was practicing, and she was surviving a world that fundamentally didn't understand her. And we've got a moment of pure celestial whimsy here. Mercury, retrograde in the 6th house, literally brought her back to the surface tonight, perfectly illuminated by the strawberry moon in Capricorn. 12 years after graduation, she is still here. But the biggest takeaway I want you to get from this explainer is this. She is not here as a wound. She is here as a witness.
Which brings us to segment 2. The inner critic isn't a villain.
Okay, get ready for a massive plot twist. We always talk about our inner critic like she's this horrible monster, but really, she's usually just your inner child operating on severely outdated 2010 emotional software. She isn't standing there saying you're not good enough. No, she is urgently saying, please, please, don't let us get hurt again. So she's not trying to sabotage your creative empire. She's fiercely trying to protect you.
Because think about what she remembers. She remembers the silence, the crushing loneliness, the misunderstandings, the visceral fear, and that suffocating pressure to just be normal. And most of all, she remembers the exhausting feeling of being completely too much and somehow not enough at the exact same time. When you finally realize that's what she's guarding against, literally everything changes. And that brings us to this beautiful second house Taurus truth. She was protecting your worth way before you ever knew what your worth even was. She was guarding your creative self before that creative self even had a name, let alone a platform. She was the vault, you guys, not the villain.
Moving right along to segment 3, the roast and the praise. So when I describe my inner critic as this scared, emo 14-year-old having a tantrum, I accidentally did 2 things at once. First, I totally roasted myself because, yeah, that is exactly who she is. But second, I praised myself because that dramatic, angsty girl listening to Evanescence and writing fan fiction, she is the direct blueprint for why I write stories today with empathy, depth, and Gothic softness. She is not the mistake. She's the entire architecture. It's exactly like Jupiter in Leo says, your origin story deserves a stage. Not in spite of the Evanescence era, but literally because of it. Your history deserves to be celebrated with full-on celestial whimsy, bathed in cinematic lighting, because it is the very foundation you stand on right now. Let's dive into segment 4, the cozy Gothic truth. Here's the cozy Gothic truth of it all. Your inner critic is your first reader, and your first reader is your absolute first protector. Because she's still learning that you're safe now, she panics, she screams, she clings to old music and old fears. But as she realizes you actually survived, she steps into her power. She's the reason you can write stories that feel like moonlight, candle smoke, soft rebellion, and quiet magic. She is how you turn survival right into art. Nebula and I specifically designed this lyrical waveform aesthetic here because it captures this transition perfectly. Think about it. 12 years ago, a girl graduated high school without knowing any of this was coming. And tonight, with a strawberry moon completely full and Mercury retrograde asking what needs to be healed before the next chapter, we kind of have to ask the ultimate Taylor Swift question. Are we out of the woods yet? And the answer is yes. We're almost there. Close enough to finally feel it.
And that leads us to segment 5, promoting the inner child.
So I decided to officially stop trying to fire my inner critic. She didn't need to be fired, she just needed a new job. So I promoted 14-year-old Kiemsha to Vice President of Marketing and Publishing. I handle the boring grown-up budget stuff, and the internal negotiation is just hilarious. She'll cross her arms and say, fine, but I want a new which is not, a stack of books, good pens, pretty folders. Oh, and when we graduate, we're doing the author photo shoot. But you know what? This negotiation is deeply, deeply important. It proves she finally believes me when I tell her we are safe. She'll ask, do we still listen to Taylor Swift? And I get to tell her, like scripture. Because she finally gets to stop protecting the dream from the shadows, and she actually gets to step out and help build it. Finally, our closing. The sanctuary. If your inner critic sounds like a teenager who just discovered angst and thick black eyeliner, I really urge you to be incredibly kind to her. She kept you alive, she kept you dreaming, and she kept you writing. She isn't here to stop you. She's just here to remind you exactly where you came from. So sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just look at her and say, I hear you, I love you, and we are safe now. If you resonate with this explainer and thrive in worlds shaped by intuition, slow burn magic, and everyday ritual, you have absolutely found your sanctuary here. I'd love to invite you to subscribe to the Romantasy and Routine channel, share this, leave a comment, no pressure at all, but we would so love to have you in our community. This is a space where neurodivergent magic means we romanticize reality with minds that just move a little differently. I want to leave you with this final thought to take with you. Take a look at your own emotional software. What is your inner critic actually trying to protect? Because as it turns out, my inner critic wasn't trying to ruin my life at all. She was just trying to protect the story that made me.